Oh my god, this new angle is absolutely shitty. Before the video starts, thank you guys for sticking with me on this channel. I haven't uploaded in some time. Please watch until the end because I will have some updates for the channel at the end of this video that you might want to check out. I will put timestamps as well in the video in the description for you guys if you want to skip also to the updates. They are pretty important ones if you are a subscriber already of the channel. That's really all. Enjoy. Dear gamers, let me ask you something. What is it that you value the most in your video games? Is it addicting and exciting gameplay? Is it a tense and gripping storyline? Is it relatable and charismatic characters?
What do I say to her? Got a talking brain tumor, claims it's her old friend Johnny?
Trust me, Rogue's heard dumber shit than that. Way back when you weren't even an itch in your daddy's ballsack.
Maybe a pretty art direction with style. Or maybe you just want your new games almost every single year. Well, what if I told you guys that there is in fact a game studio that is doing that right now? Ladies and gentlemen, I present you all RGG Studio. RGG Studio are foremost very well known for their highly acclaimed IP called Yakuza. Or maybe you know it by the Japanese name Like a Dragon. In these games you play as a Yakuza, which is basically the Japanese equivalent of the very nice suit guys that you find in Italy. In these games you play as the fan favorite Kiryu Kazuma. Everyone knows him. You might have seen some memes about him as well online, or as other legendary characters like Majima, basically the Joker of the Yakuza universe. Or our favorite likable detective Yagami, or our new Labrador protagonist in the newest turn-based games, Ichiban. You dive into the dark underworld of the Japanese mafia in these games, and the lore in these games are just as big as any J.R.R. Martin novel. My god, so many characters, so many patriarch houses. At some point you can't even remember all of them. There are so many goddamn characters in these games. You would think that 1 out of 10 people living in Kamurocho are actually hidden Yakuza themselves. But at some point with so many characters you would expect that the storytelling would be a giant mess. Actually, not at all. The storytelling in these games are every single entry very good. And I don't know how the hell they succeed with that, but it's a damn accomplishment. And all that stuff got me really thinking. These games are very consistent, not just in a story perspective, but basically every perspective of these games. How do they pull this off? Every single entry. And it's very special when you think about the fact that the Like a Dragon franchise is basically an annual franchise. So in today's video, I really want to talk with you guys why the hell RGG Studio is so scarily consistent.
ひどいな。長いこと暗い道を歩いていると、この先もずっと暗いもんだと思っちまう。前に進むことが嫌になる。自分の道がこの先どうなってるか分かってるやつなんてこの世に一人もいねえ。俺らにできるのは立ち止まって泣くか、一歩でも前に進むかの二つだけだ。ああ。
let's take a look at other yearly released franchises, because most of them cannot keep up with the quality bar of Like a Dragon. Call of Duty. This is literally the same game every single year.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again. That is crazy.
Not taking any risks or any evolution whatsoever. Assassin's Creed? Well, they try to do different things from time to time, but their gameplay has been very much ballooning over the last few years with a lot of just too much content in their big open world games, and the storytelling is almost non-existent. By the way, that is not just a Assassin's Creed thing, that is just a Ubisoft thing. And even the juggernaut that is the Pokemon franchise has been stagnating a lot with their recent entries, because also mainly of the Switch towards the Nintendo Switch, and having to develop for a home console instead of handheld has really hurt them in the long term, but also just there are now too many Pokemons and they have to make too many assets and animations, and that is, of course, as we all know, hell. Let's not talk about the junk that are sports games.
Do you consider loot boxes to be an ethical feature of your games?
So what we look at as surprise mechanics, but I think it's important to look at this. So if you go to a I don't know what your version of Target is, but a store that sells a lot of toys, and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises, and so it's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or LOL Surprise. We do think the way that we have implemented these kind of mechanics, and FIFA, of course, is our big one, our FIFA Ultimate Team and our packs, is actually quite ethical and quite fun.
What makes Yakuza any different from all these other franchises? Well, 3 things we're going to talk about in today's video. The first pillar is mastery of asset reuse. The second pillar is gameplay direction and diversity. And the third pillar is passion and quality. So RGG Studios are definitely not a stranger towards asset reuse. We are talking about the studio that has reused a single city too many times to count right now. The only times they haven't reused a city was when they actually made games that were not set in Kamurocho, like Ishin or Kanzen. Then they were basically forced to make something new. But Max, don't you get tired of seeing the same city every single time? Normally, I would answer yes to that. Because one thing I actually do not like in video games is repetition. However, as long as that repetition is in one single game, like a Majora's Mask as an example. A lot of people praise that game. I think it's absolutely tedious that you have to constantly reset the time to do things over and over again, and I know that's the premise, but I don't like it. But RGG knows exactly how to remake Kamurocho just a little bit different every single time. And somehow Kamurocho has basically become its own character. You see Kamurocho grow from game to game in a kind of character development style of way, which is pretty interesting because you normally don't ever see this in a lot of video games. But RGG is smart. They exactly know that to have a more different experience every single playthrough, just change up some small details. Don't exactly copy my previous work. But basically, for the main storyline, as an example, you might go into a soap house, the house where a lot of naughty stuff happens.
お客様、お子様連れはちょっと
社会見学の一環だ。多めに見てくれ。
申し訳ございませんが、様のご迷惑になりますので。
対に迷惑はかけない。いいよな。
I think it's in Yakuza 1. But in Yakuza 2, this is a location you can't visit anymore. But they will have new locations ready in the main storyline that are completely new from Yakuza 1. And they always tend to just change up enough that it feels like you have a different experience every single game. And it's very smart. You can compare it also a bit towards Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild when you look towards Zelda. Maybe there was a store in this street, but now it's completely gone. Or maybe there was a restaurant in this street or this area, and now it has evolved with new textures, more NPCs going in, animations, stuff like that. And you see this city evolve every single game. It's something very special. And it's kind of ironic now, Kamurocho has kind of become one of the most iconic video game locations in video game history because of this whole evolution you see from game to game. I can't remember any single other setting in a video game that is now as iconic as Kamurocho. But of course, asset reuse is not something exclusive towards RGG studios. Hell, your favorite developer might be reusing assets right now in their next game. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow GTA 6 might still reuse some sort of asset from GTA 5. It happens in every game. And in my opinion, it's just a smart way to develop games. But of course, games like Tears of the Kingdom still take almost 6 years to develop. And Like a Dragon games don't. But don't get me wrong, it's not that RGG doesn't know how to make new assets, of course they do. But in this, shall I say, development strategy, you can just do much more than one game every 5 to 6 years. But of course, reusing assets can only bring you, of course, so far. If the actual gameplay isn't fun anymore, then what's the point? And that's where my second argument comes into play. Take Call of Duty as an example. The core gameplay loop is first person shooter, and you shoot other players in a enclosed environment map. Now of course there's also a single player story campaign added towards the package normally as well, but it's yearly the exact same gameplay loop, let's be honest. But Max, you have difference between Black Ops movement and Modern Warfare movement and time to kill and all that stuff. Look, those details are too small for the mainstream gamer to notice. And so what did they do to reinvent the gameplay after years upon years? Well, let's make a bigger map.
Meine Mama hat mir einfach erlaubt, dass ich Cola trinken darf. Wie cool ist das bitte? Jetzt zocke ich Fortnite und trinke Cola. Yippie!
Let's put players in a zombie mode.
Your screams are so erotic. Yeah.
And that kind of worked for some time. They haven't changed that since at all. Hell, they tried to do the zombie bit in Modern Warfare, but just with aliens. I don't know if this was Modern Warfare or like another named Call of Duty game, but they tried to literally take that zombie idea, put it in the developer studio of Modern Warfare and just do it with aliens, because why not? Now, not changing your core gameplay loop doesn't have to be a bad thing at all. Why would you change the winning idea, of course? But RGG really understood the assignment. Fighting the same exact enemies over and over again in the same way isn't just going to cut it. This is where the minigames come into play. Every single Yakuza or Like a Dragon game is full with different minigames and side quests that you can complete. And it's a very dense package in a basically very small area. And every new Like a Dragon game introduces new minigames. or they take minigames from their previous games as kind of a bonus thing. Do you want to play old Sega arcade games? Sure, why not? Do you want to invest your time in f***ing Mahjong? I don't have the time for that, but if you want to do that, you can. Or maybe you are interested in a Tinder-like dating simulator? Who the hell came up with that at RGG? Or even better, what about a whole Pokemon-esque minigame that could basically be the base of its own video game? Why not? Or what about a Animal Crossing f***ing island where you can make your own hotel with these two suspicious characters? I mean, it is crazy. Man, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was really something else, I can tell you. And of course, not all of these minigames are 100% perfect, because there is so much content in these games, nothing is going to be 10 out of 10. And that's kind of expected. But with so much gameplay diversity, it constantly spices up the gameplay pacing that the player goes through. Now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do the main storyline. Now there's a side quest. Now I'm going to partake in this 50-hour minigame. Why not, right? But the fact that all of this content is here in the first place in every single release is nuts on its own. Look towards other studios. You don't see the same thing at all. Maybe something like a GTA, they have also minigames, stuff like that. But GTA is not a annual franchise. You see that maybe once every 10 years if you are lucky. And again, it's not all perfect, but I don't really expect it to be perfect. The fact that my brain gets tingled every single way I look with gameplay diversity is awesome. These are just the minigames. I haven't talked yet about the side quests. Every side quest has also its own written mini storyline, and they also can have its own small mini gameplay loop right there as well. And then the diversity gets even bigger than that. And you know what's really awesome? All of this stuff is optional. You don't have to partake in the minigames. You don't have to partake in the side quests. Yet, it's there if you do want to partake in it. It's there if you get tired of the main storyline in some way, which I would find very hard because these storylines are very good. But if you want to do something else, if you want to spice it up, all of it is there. And it's kind of the identity now of Like a Dragon or Yakuza. When you buy a new Yakuza game or a Like a Dragon game, you expect all of these minigames to be there and all of these crazy wacky side quests. Gameplay diversity in Like a Dragon is king, and they show it. And let's talk about the last temple in this video, which is passion and quality. A quick question to my audience. When was the last time you heard about a new Like a Dragon game where the only conversation online was about bugs or bad optimization? I'm going to give you a moment. Good answer. Almost never. Now, Japanese games in general tend to be very, well, most of the time, very good, optimized and bug-free compared towards especially the Western studios out there. Assassin's Creed. Why is that the case though? Well, because most of the time, Japanese studios really care about the final product. You know, the product that gets released at launch day, maybe that it's going to work and run without 10 million patches and that it's actually complete feature rich. You know, I'm looking right now at Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, or any other shitty live service game out there that has almost no content, but they are like, it's coming in updates, guys. Don't worry, this game is going to live for 10 years, which is the biggest PRBS you ever heard. And sure, you might find something wrong with these games if you really put them beneath a microscope, but most of the time Japanese games just tend to be better optimized and bug-free than Western games, especially these days. Hell, PC gamers were complaining about Metaphor not reaching 200 FPS on their PC. Instead, it was like 160 FPS. Like, PC players are built differently, man. I just want 60 FPS on my PlayStation 5 and then I'm happy. But we were of course talking about the Like a Dragon franchise on RGG. And remember, RGG releases a new game almost every year. Last year, it were like even 2 games in 1 year. And do you think any of these games are broken? Hell no, they run absolutely fine. And those games release again yearly. Almost yearly. I really want to know what stuff RGG is using. Is it some special Japanese cocaine? No, it's called Japanese work environment, unfortunately. Now, a few years ago, you might have remembered that RGG officially decided to change up the combat system for the new mainline games towards turn-based instead of the usual action combat system that they usually had in their games. And at the time, back then, a lot of fans were not happy with that. Look, I understand that. I'm also extremely autistic in real life and I don't like any change as well. But let's be honest, they have made one of the best turn-based games that have released in the last 3 to 4 years, especially with Infinite Wealth. And it's even not just good, it's great compared to a lot of other turn-based games out there. They had no experience with turn-based combat systems. The director basically decided just one day, yeah, I really love Dragon Quest. Let's just make a Like a Dragon game that is turn-based. And it actually worked. Retaining that style that you love, that funny but also serious storytelling, incorporating it in the turn-based system, and it is still Yakuza as f***. And do you know why it succeeded well? Because the developers and the management at RGG Studio actually give a damn. They give a damn about the games that they release every single year. And that is kind of hard. If you do something repetitiously, like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or Pokemon, at some points even the devs will not have any more passion towards what they are making, but somehow they make it work. I don't know what they do. Maybe it is new ideas, who would have thought? At the end of the day, video games are of course a business, right? They have to make money, but video games are also an artistic medium. At some point, the devs want to make something else, and that's why they decided to do turn-based. They want to do something that they actually wanted to do. And guess what? You make something better than usual slop because it sells well. They don't ever change Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or Pokemon, at least as much as they can, because the sales are very high. RGG took a very big risk by making its game turn-based, but it paid off. Even the smallest projects that they have, like a Gaiden or something like a spin-off like Judgment, all have the care and attention and the detail that the mainline games have. That also helps. When Yakuza Like a Pirate or Like a Pirate Yakuza is coming out next year with Majima, you can expect that game to be a new mainline game. Even though it is shorter, it has all the attention from previous games still here. The quality, detail, the attention, it's all there. Even though if it is a smaller project. Guess what, Ubisoft? Your quadruple A Skull and Bones is getting beaten out by a yearly franchised niche Japanese franchise that also has fucking pirate combat on the ships, but also ground combat. Why the hell couldn't Ubisoft, one of the biggest publishers in this world, not have pirate combat on the ship, but also combat off ship? How was this difficult? I just don't understand. But some small niche franchise like a Dragon can just do that? That makes games yearly?
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
RGG just hasn't become a soulless company like your Ubisofts or your Activisions. And yes, sometimes there is some shenanigans with Like a Dragon as well. As an example, the new Game Plus modes getting locked is stupid, of course. Or the game boosters type of stuff, microtransaction stuff. Yes, it is stupid. But let's be honest, that isn't really a RGG problem. That is just a industry problem. Every publisher wants that stuff in their games. And at the end of the day, RGG does have to listen towards the overlords, Sega, watching over them and giving them the budget to do their thing. So yeah, RGG is not completely a saint either, but I will take that studio every day over Ubisoft or Activision. And that is why RGG Studio is so scarily consistent. And maybe one of the most underrated studios out there. Now, of course, this is for now. I cannot look into the future. Maybe like in 5 years, RGG has also become a soulless studio. And the thing is, nothing lasts forever, as we all know. But I do think right now that we can absolutely enjoy what RGG has made so far over all these years. We have so many good Yakuza games. We have the Judgment games. And for now, we can really enjoy their success. So guys, I really hoped that you enjoyed the video. I've really put some time and work into this one. I quickly just want to talk about some live updates in general and channel updates that are pretty important that I wanted to just put at the end here of the video for all the hardcore subscribers, if there are any left, of course. There will be, in fact, a Game of the Year video from me somewhere maybe at the start of January or maybe even earlier than that, still in December. I don't know that yet, but I have already, I think, played all the games that at least that I can play this year. There are still some games that I skipped out on that I really wanted to maybe put on the Game of the Year list, but unfortunately, due to lack of time in general, I can't really play everything. So yeah, you can look forward towards a top 10 Game of the Year video that I do every year. It's kind of a tradition. And also I will be doing the most anticipated list video, which has also become like a staple for the channel. That I will do every year, a very big one in December. That one will still be in December. I'm still kind of waiting on the Game Awards, because they will maybe have some late release dates that I want to put into the video. But as soon as the Game Awards basically are ended, I will be doing a big, shall I say, most anticipated video games of 2025 video for you guys. So you can look forward towards that as well. Then also some, in general, live updates. I've had a pretty busy time privately, some stuff. That's really why I haven't uploaded for a pretty long time. And also my one of my dogs passed away not too long ago, like a week ago, and that still hurts me a bit. That's also really why I haven't uploaded anything. So I'm sorry for not letting you guys know why, but that's really why I haven't really uploaded that much on the channel. And I have been also thinking of a strategy how I should be doing YouTube, because let's be honest, the videos aren't that good view-wise if I'm doing rumor stuff, and it doesn't really grow me well into the algorithm. So that's why I want to do also more of these big essay long videos, legacy videos that can be watched for a long period of time, and hopefully that can boost the channel a bit into the algorithm to get more subscribers, of course, and more viewers on my channel. But yeah, that's really the plan game that I have right now. The thing is, I don't want to stop rumor videos at all. I really like to do rumor videos and gaming industry videos in general. So I will be still doing that, even though I haven't uploaded on a lot of rumors. I've missed a ton of rumors. I will do it somehow. Even though if it doesn't grow my channel, I will still continue to put out those videos. I said I would experiment with a second channel as well. I said that a video ago. I don't remember anymore. That's also an experiment. I am continuing to see which one of the two channels will grow faster. That's just more an experiment for me, not for you. But if any results of that are pretty noteworthy, I will let you guys know as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this at least long video that I prepared for you guys. I'm sorry for not uploading, but this is kind of like an apology video for you guys. And there will be more videos coming this month. The Game of the Year video somewhere, maybe beginning of January, and also the most anticipated games video will also be coming, and maybe also some other stuff. So I will be uploading more now. Thank you guys for watching as always. That's Todd Howard, if you haven't noticed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. So don't forget to leave a comment. Otherwise, Todd Howard will hunt you down in your home.